time live today. I just ate. Anyways, this is my third time going live today. Um, it's been a day, and it's been amazing that tomorrow is another day. But tomorrow, I don't have to go to work, which is amazing, and I don't have to go to physical therapy, which is also amazing, and I don't have to go to the chiropractor, which is also amazing. I have so many obligations in an average week that it's been beautiful to have none for the past 2 days. I cleaned my car. I took my car to the car wash. The car wash. Yeah, I took my car to the car wash. I'm sad to say, but it had literally been months since I have taken my car to a car wash. Hey, Shanna, you made a live. How you doing? Hi, Charicity. Right before I got in my car, I was listening to the most dominant, strategic player in Big Brother history talk about some of the blood that he is going to have on his hands. So, for anyone who does not remember that speech, go back and watch Jag's winning HOH speech, and you'll know exactly why I keep saying this about Keanu. Except, you, his road to get to that final 2 seed is going to be interesting, but I feel like he's throwing his jury votes away. If there was a way for him to get votes, Keanu does not care about jury management in the least. So as I was watching yesterday, as he spoke to Vince, he was formulating this brilliant, brilliant plan with Vince because Ashley and Rachel are putting the press on Keanu to make Lauren his renom. And we all know that he's not going to make Lauren his renom. And I think that realistically, Rachel also knows that he's not going to make Lauren his renom. But she's just somebody who's just going to try her damnedest to make things happen regardless. She's going to try and try and try. She's made other things happen, so she's probably thinking, I have a better shot than anyone else at convincing him to do this Lauren renom. So I don't blame her for trying. You can't blame a girl for trying, right? So he comes up with this super, super duper smart plan, which is to say that Lauren is going to be the renom, and then when it comes time, and make this big elaborate reason of why he's making Lauren the renom, and then when the time comes in the veto speech, he's going to say, Ashley, you have a seat. And I'm like, there ain't nothing wrong with him putting up Ashley. I mean, I don't think that that's his best move. I quite honestly do not think that that's his best move to make. However, why are you going to do it in that fashion where you lie? Where you lie to that other side and you tell them one thing and then you put up somebody else. And then there's a couple of things. We all know that there's a Big Brother blockbuster, so there's still a chance for her to get herself off. And then there's another chance, a last chance for her to get herself the votes to stay. If you get her out and you kind of essentially effectively blindside her with, today's version of a blindside. Actually, it would kind of be the first blindside of the season to an extent, because the Riley one was not a true blindside because he was told, or Lauren was told, you use this and I'm going to put up Riley and potentially get him out. One moment, please. Uno momento. That whole segment would have got blocked out if I had it on. As soon as I walked in there, it was like, don't go chasing waterfalls. Please stick to the rivers and the lakes that we used to. Don't you know I'm gonna have it your way or nothing at all. But I think we're moving too fast. Ooh, don't go chasing waterfalls. That's why I often turn off my sound when I go into a store, because I'll do a whole segment like this one day. I was like, y'all, I'm gonna let you shop with me at Old Navy. And I was in the Old Navy. I spent like 30 minutes in there, 40 minutes, maybe like 45 minutes. And I picked out a few outfits. I picked out at least one or two outfits. And then maybe like a couple hours after my live posted, I get hit with a nice little thing that's just like, hey, you know that whole live that you did where you went through and you went to the store and you did all this cool stuff? About that. We swipe in your whole live. So YouTube wants you to live as if the world has no music in it. Even though everywhere you turn, there's some kind of song playing. Whether it's somebody playing a song on their radio, whether it's a store having background music, I could walk outside and something plays on somebody's phone. Be realistic. It's like a full-time job to be a blogger that goes outside and avoids music being on their channel. How do you do that? It's almost impossible. Yeah, I'm ranting because that's one of my biggest pet peeves is that they expect you to not have music on your live. Are you kidding me? Okay. Anyways, where are we? Hi, who came here? Tammy, Chocolate, Jenny, Vicky. I miss New York Dunkin' Donuts. The Ohio ones. Oh, you were in New York, Shanna? Which part of New York? Are you from New York, or you just lived here before? Let's see. D, hi D, hi Cass, and hi Ma. TikTok lets the music play. I know you keep telling me about TikTok, Shanna. I try. I keep trying with TikTok, but it's so hard that I just keep giving up. I would love to have a successful TikTok because I know people who make good money. Like I know people who make really good money on TikTok, but I've never figured out the formula. Oh, you were born in Brooklyn? Really? Wow. Raised in Mount Vernon. Do I know where Mount Vernon is? Mount Vernon is what, upstate. Is Mount Vernon like upstate? Wait, is Mount Vernon Westchester? Is Mount Vernon in Westchester? I know we are not talking. We were talking Big Brother. We just took a temporary pause from talking Big Brother because I went in to get my latte. But we were actually talking about Big Brother, and we were talking about Keanu's elaborate scheme that I think is very incredibly stupid and unnecessary to put Ashley on the block. Like the move is the move. If you think putting Ashley on the block is the best for your game, then you think it's the best for your game. I'm not mad at him for that, but the way that he's trying to generate this crazy story about the reasons why he's going to make Lauren the Renom and lie to Rachel and lie to Ashley and lie to Mickey, I suppose. I don't know if he told Mickey, but I know that the people that I know that he told are Vince, Lauren, and I believe he told Kelly also. So I'm like, that's a sure way to lose some jury votes. That's a way to piss them off, and that's a way to ensure that your side has to win next week, and you're not included on that list, so you can't play the HOH. So that means either Lauren, Vince. Wait, is Vince still on the block? Yeah, Vince is still on the block. So Vince stays on the block unless Morgan does something crazy. Do these people know what a four-way stop means? All right, I already know the answer to that question. I was just venting. That means if Vince leaves, that's a problem for him. That's a huge problem for him if Vince leaves because that leaves Lauren and Kelly to basically fight for their lives because any other scenario sees him going on the block. Any other scenario. There's no other scenario in this life where the two of them, where anyone aside from the two of them does not put him on the block. And with Rachel and Ashley on his side, and Will, because Will is going to go where Ashley goes, um, that gave him a little bit of extra insulation. But I just feel like he doesn't just want to win; he's just really determined to win the game in some epic way that nobody has ever done before. He highly gives recruit, man. All right, where are we? I've been in Ohio 25 years. Wow, outside the Bronx. Oh, okay. Oh, I've been to Mount Vernon before. Like I was wondering. I know that I've been to Mount Vernon a couple of times before, but that is near Westchester or in Westchester, isn't it? If it's not in Westchester, it's near Westchester because Westchester borders the Bronx. Um, the line is gonna get him in deep. I don't know why he doesn't. I know, like, so, what? That's another thing. Leave Ashley alone. I don't know why these people in this house are hating on Ashley. Like, I said this on my community post when people like Catherine and now Kelly are. It's not even like they dislike her a little bit. They hate her. They're speaking such hate about her, and I'm like, she's a little quirky, but I don't see her as somebody who's malicious. Crazy, crazy. I think that he asked her to use the veto on him. Listen, chocolate. The unemployed does what they got to do to survive. It is nasty work. uh, it's a 60-minute show. The Sunday shows, Shanna, are 60 minutes. No one knows how a four-way stop works. Oh, really? Not over there either? Thanks to you all who responded about Ashley. I've been fighting for my life against the Keanu stands today. I recently learned what a stand was. I finally let. And then, Chiricity, there's a. Oh, is it on Paramount Plus or Netflix? Either Paramount Plus or Netflix has a documentary called Stand about that exact same thing. You'll be going for what? A concert of who? I think the people that like Keanu, I believe so. I believe so. Mount Vernon is a part of Westchester County. I knew it. I knew I was right on that. Kelly said Ashley should go home because she doesn't need the money. Who are you to say who needs what? You all come on there for your own reasons. Like, we don't need anyone pocket watching. I don't like that. Pretty girl can't be a know-it-all, but a buff gym rat can have a huge ego. With a huge ego, can. He should put Kelly. That would be entertaining. Cash should see Auntie. He should. Okay, last week was too long for a Sunday show. Oh yeah, you're right. That's why you asked that, because they added the BB Unlocked. They added that onto the episode. I forgot about that. I was so annoyed at that. They forced us to watch BB Unlocked by putting it on Sunday's episode. The quirky people are misunderstood a lot. Team Ashley. All right. Yes, D. Let them fight. Halsey. Yes, Toricity. Oh, really? I may have to watch that. I mean, I do love true crime. No, 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 not the actual story. I think it. Well, I don't know. I don't think it's the actual Stan story. I think it's just talking about the phenomenon that is Eminem and the fan base that came with him. Give me 1 second. I'll BRB. BRB. Oops. It's always sunny in Philadelphia. Philadelphia. I haven't been to Philadelphia. I like calling it Philadelphia. I don't know why. Why not call it Philly? I don't know. Philadelphia is in West Philadelphia, born and raised. I like calling it Philadelphia. Okay. Say there's a live band playing The Temptations. This way, my girl. I'm talking about. I kind of want to go over there, but I don't know what YouTube's gonna do if I go over there. Do do. I guess I'm good on thunder thighs. Oh, took me a second to realize thunder thighs is Keanu. uh, what's the weather like?
I don't even know what my weather is like, but I assume it's probably about sunny. I mean, it's probably about 70 and sunny with a cool, crisp breeze, which I love. They're really just tempting me with playing all these songs that I love. And it's a live band. But I learned from singing Teddy Bear that even a band cover can get a video taken down. Rachel won't stop until Ashley doesn't go up. Rachel won't stop what? BB Unlocked is uncomfortable to watch. Who called it ESPN? I forgot who called BB Unlocked ESPN, but after they said that, I can't unsee it being ESPN. Like, how are you showing us clips and highlight reels from a TV show that's still presently on? To me, it's like being forced to watch BB a Look Back. The Look Back episode they do at the end of the season, it's like being forced to watch that every other week. That's a pretty good thought. He's an icon. It'd be interesting to watch more on his life. Yeah, it's like a skit of a real podcast. On a playground is where I spent most of my days. 107 in September. Well, we're not September yet. But on the eve of September, sheesh. 118. These numbers are insane to me. The only time I've even seen, I touched triple digits a few times when I lived in Atlanta. When I lived in Georgia, I didn't live in Atlanta, but when I lived in Georgia, we touched 100 degrees sometimes. When I was in Miami, like, we touched over 100, maybe like up to 104 when I was visiting over there. Mexico and Honduras. Those are both triple digits, but 100 in Mexico and Honduras actually did not feel nearly as bad as I thought it would feel. I think we were like 110, and I wasn't dying. I was on the beach. That probably makes a difference. But a 90 degrees that we were having here, like mid-90s in August, was suffocating in New York. 90 in New York is probably the equivalent of 100 plus elsewhere, and it's like an uncomfortable, muggy, heat that feels like it's suffocating you. There's again music in this store, but that's okay. I'm only gonna be in here for 2 minutes if I can help it. Excuse me. Do you sell batteries here? Oh, do you? Double A?
Double A?
Yeah.
Which one we have? Double A is not on discount.
Oh, okay.
$6.99 for 30,000.
Okay. Well, that's not bad.
Yeah, not bad at all. And they work just fine. I get the batteries.
Do you?
Yeah.
Thank you.
You want AAAs? I got those.
How much are those ones?
24 with the discount.
Okay. Alright. I was gonna get some dollar store, but if these last better, might as well. Thank you. Exactly. Oh, really? Mom is from Honduras? Yes, a really bad skit. Worse than my high school play. It's getting cold in here in Ottawa, Canada. Probably about a month I'll be in Canada. Not in Ottawa, though. Humidity is what usually kills. I can't wait for the cold fall. I love fall. It's a dry heat. 107 isn't terrible. I'd take that to your 80 to 90 with humidity. Me too, I want it all year. I was born in the fall. I'm a fall baby. Exactly 1 month from Tuesday is my birthday. 1 month and 2 days from today. Another year. I almost sliced off my finger yesterday. It was crazy. Like I just put it back together with some Band-Aids. We're getting monsoons now, though. We're getting some humidity, so time for temps to come down. Then it's beautiful for the rest of the year.
Yeah, but every girl got a white car. I don't understand. First one had the Benz, Escalade type of thing. Then the other girl had the Benz car. And then the other one had a white car. It's like white, it's color. I don't know. But whatever, man.
Lizards.
He owed me $100. That's another reason I didn't want to finish the job. $100. Look, everybody's going to pay me because how could you not? In your business, you want somebody cheap. Dick me over, and where you going? You know exactly. You're going to spend money. I saw a silver car. No, you didn't. Yeah, John said that. You know, because you got to get away. But it's like that's not my problem. If I don't take the car, you can take the car, you get the money you want. Otherwise, you're strapped into it. Otherwise, you're getting $3 grand. You know, you don't need to swing a wrench. You better take it. I don't care.
Well, my brother, all the rims off me, no.
You know, I got enough fun with that. I'll swing a wrench for myself and just tell everybody I gotta do me. I gotta do me. You see my car down.
Thank you.
Do me.
You too.
Yo, you don't stop working. You don't got a fat paycheck, man. You got 5 kids and a wife. Yeah, I know, right?
Oh, snap. Oh, boy. The guy behind me said to the cashier, "My boy, you don't stop working. What do you got, 5 kids and a wife?" He said, "Actually, 7 kids and a wife." Oh, shoot. Fall babies are the best. That's what Cara told me. Shout out to Cara Maria. Actually, Cara Maria her mom's birthday would have been September 2nd, which is, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4 days. 4 days away from what would have been my dad's birthday. I'm not somebody who believes in coincidences. And a lot of, like, too many things. If I was someone who believed in coincidences, there's just too many things that have happened. There can't be coincidences. I met her August 28th, 2024, which was 2024, was it? Yeah, 2024, which was a day before what would have been his birthday. And then her mom passed like around Father's Day. And I just happened to reach out to her on Father's Day and find that out. Then on Mother's Day was the day that I buried my dad. Anyways, there's just this, I mean, the day that we had the funeral service for him. There's just so many things that if I told y'all, you would be like, this is nuts. I don't even believe that. Not just with her, but with a lot of people that have found their way around me around that time period. When I met CT was actually the same day as the same week that my dad was buried, and I almost didn't go. I'm a winter baby. There's always a picture of lizards instead of bugs. I love live music. Nothing is better than a live band. I love a live band, especially. We have a Freeze Jazz Festival here. Oh, we had Tank and the Bangers. I just learned who they were. When was that? When was it? I can't remember, but I want to say that it was earlier this year, and I love that group. They came to New York and performed in the Blue Note. Love the group. The Roots were here not that long ago. The Roots are always here, though. They perform here every summer. We have a lot of free concerts here in New York. Like, the Roots just performed here a week or two ago for some music festival. I didn't get to go to that one, though. Last year, so there's this park in Queens called Roy Wilkins Park. Last year we got the Lox and Ja Rule. That was one of the best things I ever saw in my life, and it was free. It's always free. I love Janelle Monáe. Me too. I get that when things like that happen. I met one of my good friends trying to avoid making friends. Ha! I got some things to tell you about that. How about making friends with somebody, same thing you just said, that you are determined not to make friends with, and they have the same birthday as you, and they have a sibling with the same name as you. How about that? That really happened. Spelled the same way, with a C. It could only be crazier if it was the same year. Yeah, I feel like my guess about the whole BB Unlocked being added to that episode was that they probably were not getting the ratings they desired on Friday. So at that point, they were pretty much like, maybe it's because people are not seeing it. So yo, they're killing it with these songs, man. Now they're doing Whitney, I Want to Dance with Somebody. Can y'all hear any of that? You know what's possible? They might have a backing track because the background sounds too much like Whitney. and they could just be playing drums and stuff and the guitarist to it. So I don't even want to get close to it and have them pick that up and then be like, well, we got to demonetize your whole video because it's blocked in this and that country. Yo, me and YouTube have beef, man. There will come a day where I'm no longer on YouTube, but to be determined. Whoever's singing that is actually pretty good, because it's like not too many people can do Whitney. It ain't Whitney, but if you aren't butchering it, you know what I mean? Pretty good. We can hear everything. Her set ran really late. I could hear her in the parking lot. I like, what is that song called? Mr. Bluebell. That's one of my favorite songs. It's one of my favorite songs. Her vibe is like spoken word. It's cool. Alright. No longer on YouTube. Let me get my belt. The show is awful. That's why the ratings are in the tank. For sure. Unlocked is very boring. Yeah, it just gives look back episode where they're holding up the glasses of champagne. Remember the time when such and such happened? I can't tell you how many of those I've actually skipped. Or even if I don't skip them completely, they lose my attention span after a while. Remember on day 24 when this and this happened? Remember when Jimmy was putting on drag? And remember when Zay went against Rachel? That was so epic. It's like, why do we need that every single week? They're doing a lot, I believe, to try to get the ratings back. Rachel was put there for a ratings boost. So, and I think that she has more than served for that. So I feel like whether you hate her or love her, you gotta appreciate her for giving you something to root for or against. Because really, that's what it's coming down to. Half the, like 75% of the fandom has pom-poms up for somebody, and it's either Rachel or Keanu. Oh, it was you who called it ESPN. Yeah, I fully see the play now. Definitely Big Brother ESPN. They can lock it back up. Winner's Circle has been abandoned. I know, right? He said he didn't have time for the Winner's Circle, but he has the time to do BB Unlocked because he's getting that CBS check. Could be short-lived. I don't have time for look-back stuff. Give me some things that I don't know that are exciting. Exactly. Unless BB Unlocked is going to show us all those conversations you be cutting out, then there ain't nothing to see. And I've always said, if you want to do one of those look back things. I remember when The Real World was still a thing, they would show the season in its entirety, and then following the last episode, they had something called the Ish They Should Have Shown. And it would just be like an hour-long collection of unreleased footage that you could just watch the footage and, you know, that was that. But to put it before the last episode, just no, we don't need that. That's one of my least favorite things about Big Brother. Now you've encapsulated that into a 60-minute segment every other week. If it seems like I'm trying to send a message, I always am. Because my channel is not controlled by anybody. I don't have a sponsor. I don't have a plug. I don't have an in. I'm not on anybody's list. So therefore, I can say whatever I want, as long as I do not do so in music form. Because YouTube hates music. Tiffany left them too long time ago. That dissolved so fast. And I actually liked Tiffany when she was covering the live feed stuff. I realized that added a dynamic that made me much more interested. I loved Tiffany's coverage for that. I haven't really seen Tiffany's coverage in general. I haven't watched the, what is it? Reality podcast. I was about to call my podcast the Reality Podcast, or my channel, and I didn't realize that they already had that name taken. So that's the reason why. Well, that was one of the names. That was one of the names that I had in mind. I want Celebrity Big Brother to come back with house guests that actually know the game. Tiffany was only kind of the third party to them. She only did the feeds for them, so I think she's never fully invested in. I think the investment depends on... Oh, I was telling y'all how this happened yesterday. I bought this little tray of mac and cheese at this restaurant that I got some food from. And then I was holding up the tray, and I picked up this knife because I was trying to cut off a small piece of the mac and cheese to put it in a plate. And I'm cutting it, and then I realized, okay, it's taking a little bit more force than I thought to cut the mac and cheese. And it was in an aluminum foil, like one of those mini takeout trays with the plastic on the top of it, the plastic lid on the top, and aluminum on the bottom. I pushed it a little bit too hard, and the knife went through the bottom of the aluminum tray and into the space between my two fingers. It like jammed up in there. And when I first looked at I don't know if y'all have ever had like a deep cut. I've had a couple of them. I had one of them that was bleeding profusely, and I had to go to the hospital, and they soldered it closed. I forgot what that's called, but there's a word for it. But basically, they burned it shut. And that was one of the most painful things I ever experienced in my life. And I'll never forget that nurse telling me to man up when I was squirming because of how painful it was. And I have a very high pain tolerance. So for me to have that kind of reaction to anything, I didn't cry for a broken bone in my left foot and my right foot. Torn tendons in my wrist, my kneecap popping out. Many things have happened to me, and that little cut on that index finger that you can no longer see, and then burning it shut with this silver mercury stuff they put on it. Ouch, man. But anyways, my point of that was when you first get the deep cut, you don't see or feel anything right away. So instantly, I was panicking because I was like, is this thing going to start bleeding everywhere? And then I'm going to have another thing where I'm spending an hour soaking up 800 paper towels and full of blood, and then still have to end up going to the hospital to get it shut or stitched or whatever. But fortunately for this one, I was able to get the knife out real quick. I'm still kind of squeamish just thinking about it, but I got the knife out of my finger, and I was able to get it to stop myself, fortunately. It was painful as hell, but it didn't bleed crazy like that other time. If you are blocked, you are not blocked by me, because I didn't do that. Let's see. Cauterize. No, they had an yeah, maybe that's the word. That's probably the word. Yep. She was doing heavy lifting, and they just got to show up for the show. I'm still on, right? You can still hear me, right? One and two and three and four and maybe we can work it out. Work it out. Work it out. Just making sure the numbers are dwindling and the comments are dwindling, but it happens with these long lives. I'm getting my steps on. I already have my required steps. This is a step heavy day. Like right now, just because I am at 16,381 steps, like my steps have been stepping. I might even end up with a 20,000 step day just because. And I haven't even started running again. This is just walking steps. You know how much walking that is? Just to walk and get 10,000 steps. The end of this week, I'll be in Philly. I didn't mention why I was going to be in Philly. I'll be in Philly doing a Spartan race. And the type of Spartan race is called a Spartan Stadium. And that means I'll be in Citizens Park Bank. I think that's the order of those three words. But that amounts to the stadium where the Phillies play. And what it is that you run all up and through and around the stadium. All up and around and through the stadium. This dog doesn't want to let me be great. All up and around and through the stadium, and then you do little obstacles in between. Monkey bars. I saw my monkey bar life on the line, though. I saw the whole race on the line with this. Depending on how this heals between now and Saturday, I'm still going to do the race regardless of how much it's healed. But obviously, well, not obviously, a lot of the things that you do with these Spartan races involve grip. So if this is not healed enough to where I can grip like a kettlebell, or if I can jump over a wall because you have to put your hand on the wall, even then I might just wear gloves. But my point is, like, if it's a situation where it could potentially split open again, then I'm just going to focus on the running and skip a bunch of the obstacles, if not most of them. Because almost every obstacle you're going to do involves your hands. There's like one where you crawl out, you have this board under your feet, you have your toes on the board and there's wheels under it, and you roll out and you're crawling with your hands to the other side and back. There's one where you're picking up this heavy cinder block, walking it around and coming back. There's monkey bars. There's a bunch of walls you have to jump over or climb under. There's a rope climb, which I don't do the rope climb anyways. I mean, there's like a few things that I'd be able to do without grip strength or grip ability, but a lot of things I would not be able to do. Yeah, that's the part that scared the daylights out of me. Where the knife was, I was so fortunate that it didn't like slice through an artery or something or do something crazy, because it took time to... Actually, the first thing that I did after I got under the sink was to like wriggle these two fingers to make sure that I could move them. And when they moved, I was like, I still didn't feel like I was 100% out of the woods. I just was like, at the very least, I can save my fingers. It was that serious what was going in my head. I'm hungry too. I don't know what I want. I'm gonna do peanut butter toast with bananas. Back blue, what's happening? People are responding, so at least I'm not blocked. You are a chameleon. I change color with the screen. Spartans are serious business. Are you still gonna go live after the show? Yeah, I'm still gonna go live after the show. Funny enough, if you have seen characteristically, the Sunday episode, while it's not the most interesting, is the only one that I don't fall asleep before I go live, because Sunday I'm the most well rested, because I sleep good on Friday and I sleep good on Saturday. Wake up on Sunday, I'm energetic. I go to the gym in the morning. I run around and get a bunch of errands done. You know, like Sundays I feel excellent. I wish eviction day was on freaking Sunday. This is like my third live today. And that one is going to be number 4. I'm going to do a quick recap of the episode. I never did a rope climb in my life. The only time I kind of did a rope climb was at another one of these same races. And it wasn't a rope climb where I had to know the technique, because they had easy ropes that had knots on them. So I basically was able to just use my upper body strength and hold the rope at the knot and wriggle my feet up to step on the next knot, and then grab the next knot up, grab that one, and then wriggle my feet up to the next knot, and you can stand on the knots until you get to the top rung, and then you could ring the bell. But in terms of like those people who know how to take the rope, wrap it around their toe, and do that thing that you do to get up the rope, I've never learned that. I probably never will. I just walk right around those sections of the race. And sometimes people tell me that's cheating. And I'm like, well, what do I get if I win? What do I get if I do every single obstacle and I win? Like if I win, I get something. Like if I finished in first place, if I signed up for a professional division, because they do have those, and I finish in first, second, or third, I win something. But unless that's me, which it is not, I'm doing it just for the enjoyment and the satisfaction of completing it. So, I'm lucky you didn't hit a nerve. Do you still know how to do a back handspring? Funny enough, I've told this story, right? When I don't remember how old I was. Let's say I was 5 or 6 or something. My sister wanted to be a professional a professional gymnast. And we had met Dominique Dawes, and she even asked her for pointers and stuff like that. They were around the same age, funny enough. My sister and Dominique Dawes, I think, are maybe 2 years. Maybe Dominique Dawes is 2 years older than her, I think. And she met her in her gym in Silver Springs, Maryland, and everything. And then she was in this gymnastics class. And my mom was just tired of having to, like, take my sister to this gymnastics class, but still have me. So she had to, like, watch me while my sister was in this gymnastics class. So she was like, you know what? I want to just throw you in there. She asked me, like, do you want to do this gymnastics class? And I wasn't trying to be a professional gymnast. I was like, cool. I can run around and jump into those pool things with the foam blocks. You know those things you can jump into with the foam blocks? And I can walk on the balance beam and stuff. So I just thought it was cool and fun. And then I also was like, cool, I could do something with my sister. Even though we were in a different age group, so we were not there at the same time, I liked doing things with her, even though she didn't like me around. I guess that's the being the younger brother dynamic. Like, doing things with her was cool to me, and doing things with me was uncool to her. But they threw me in there, and then I still remember, like, this one day, when she was picking up me and my sister, the instructor walks up to my mom, and she was just like, you know, we were thinking of moving your son into such and such advanced class because your son is a prodigy. And I was like, Mommy, what's a prodigy? And my sister was furious. She was furious because I didn't even come there to be good. I didn't practice anything. And I was just there just because my mom didn't want to take care of me during that time while my sister was there at the gymnastics. And then this person calls me a prodigy. And then on top of that, I personally don't even know what the word prodigy means at that age. And when I think back to it, I'm like, that would piss me off too. But little 5 to 6 year old me, I did not understand for the life of me why she was so upset. And we later had a conversation about it, like years later, and she told me my sister is so book smart, and she always got top grades in class and all of that, and high GPAs and everything. And she was the salutatorian in high school, and I think in elementary school also, if I'm not mistaken, and one of the top people in college as well. And I used to envy that. But she told me, she was like, the ease at which you did everything, and like the nonchalantness where you didn't care about anything. My childhood is so different than my adulthood. I mean, it's not like I stopped being good at things, but things don't feel easy for me anymore. And I'm filled with anxiety, even though people think that I'm not. Um, do I know how to? Yes. Long story. Spinal cord injury, so back flipping days are in the past. Who did Keanu renom? Renoms are Monday. Hi, Edward. Brother got thrown into gymnastics because of me too. You missed your calling, gymnastics superstar. And for a man or a boy, whatever, doing gymnastics, you got a small window to be good at that. Like, you're not gonna just do gymnastics unless if she put me into that school and said the next 8-10 years of his life are going to be dedicated to gymnastics, that's the only way that you're going to become a professional gymnast as a man. Because you got to use it or lose it policy. Once I got thrown into like football, basketball, that kind of stuff, you lose all the flexibility. Then you rack up all those injuries that I got. Ain't no way. What's your routine? You go to the gym and get your steps in. I've been trying to redevelop a routine. So what I've been doing in the last 3 weeks, as I have gotten back to getting my steps, is that I go to the gym in the morning and I do some cardio, as well as my strength training. Do them together. I have been doing like the cardio first as a warm-up, and then I do the strength training afterwards. So with my cardio, I get in probably 5,000 to 6,000 steps. My goal for the day is 10,000. And then I do my strength training. And then when I'm done, so then when I'm at work, I try to spend I usually get about 5,000 steps at work. I take the stairs. When I go to put my lunch in the fridge, I walk up the stairs. We have about 3 floors, and each floor is 2 sets of stairs going up, probably 40 steps per floor. So it's about 120 steps. And then going up the stairs and down the stairs, so that's giving me some steps and some steps on an incline, which are great. And then when I'm done work, since the weather has been so nice, I don't walk in the hot weather. Since the weather has been so nice, I have been doing some laps when I finish work, and that's it. Pretty simple. But the thing is, the strength never goes. That's my whole thing. My strength is always there. It's always like my midsection and my waist and stuff. That's the part that comes and goes. In any shape, I can go move a lot of weight in the gym. I can curl a lot. I can shoulder press a bunch, triceps, leg machines, all that stuff. But the cardio and the nutrition is the part that fluctuates. I always wish that I had the base of a runner, because it's like runners are always like, oh man, I have such a hard time putting on muscle, and I'm like, I couldn't lose the muscle if I tried. I spent 6 months doing no weights at all, and when I started back with the weights, people still thought that I was lifting weights when I didn't touch a weight for 6 months. Not one. And I started back for about a week or 2, and people thought that I had just never stopped. But the cardio is unforgiving. Concert must be finishing. I love this song. What's Up by Four Non Blondes. Y'all know that song? I'm going home. That's a nice story, kind of gymnastic. Yeah, the flexibility part is what I mean. Once you lose that, people have claimed to me for years that you can get it back. You cannot get it back. There's a certain level of elasticity that we have that if you are not consistently stretching and doing mobility activities, you lose it and you don't get it back. Oh, that's not the live band. I'm glad I did not go over there earlier. The live band left. That's why a lot of people are leaving. She wanted to be a writer, and I started taking it seriously. You know what? She started gossiping with another girl who said she didn't deserve it. You know what? The way that I see it, a lot of people are jealous of me for things that I do, that I can do, that I don't really. It's not like I did something hard to achieve that thing. We all have a gift that is just specific to us. Maybe more than one gift. And it's like somebody can work to try to achieve what you have, but you have what you have. For instance, that saxophone story that I always tell. If I had worked 75% as hard as that guy did in that audition piece, 75% as hard as he did, I would have been a shoo-in for the first chair. And even though he got the first chair, he was a terrible first chair. Whether he wants to admit it or not, every one of us in the band knew that he was a terrible first chair. And he would have never gotten that spot if I had just simply practiced those pieces. But my reason for saying that is because it was my gift. I mean, I'm not Kenny G, but, I'm pretty good on the saxophone. And I was lazy at it, as a matter of fact, which is why I only went to a certain point. But your gifts are your gifts. It is what it is. There's some things that I can work so hard at that I would never do. I would never be able to do. Like, I wanted to be a writer, but my sister is incredible with writing. That's a gift of hers that no matter how much work that I put in, I'm never going to be as good as she is at that. She's written for magazines and stuff. That was a dream of mine at one point. I love when you raise your shades. He talked about a bad friend. I know, right? It was envy. I'm trying to build muscle too. Muscle is just, I would like to just restructure my frame for a day and just be somebody who's skinny. And then my goal is to put on muscle, because I'm a professional at that. Chase consistent work. Most people don't have the desire later on. Stop reminding me of how I'm last chair. I was a first chair clarinet. I don't have any gifts. I mean, you put together these videos. I think that's a gift. At least I am too. And musical talent, plenty of things. I'm number 2 on the live chat. Chiricity is number 1. Didn't the 4 non-blondes? Yeah, I think they did only have one album. And honestly, that song is the only song that I know from that album. I don't know any other songs. Back at high school. Alright, this is probably my last circle around the block. Unless I'm close to 20,000 steps, then I might make 2 circles around the block. Ooh, 18,465. I haven't hit 20,000 steps in probably I don't know. I probably hit it during a race. When would that be? I probably hit 20,000 steps in March. Because I did a race, and that race. But if you take out race days where I have to take steps, I don't think I haven't hit 20,000 steps on a regular day, just walking, in probably a year or maybe 2. So I'm going to try to get my 20,000 steps today before I go back inside. So I have about 1,500 left, which will probably take me about 10 minutes. And then once that 10 minutes is over, that'll lead me into the show. Yeah, I'm going live after the episode. I finally made it. I finally made number 1. When I forget my watch, I'm so depressed. However, I usually have my phone on me, so except at work, I often leave my phone. When I'm taking the stairs and stuff, I often leave my phone in the drawer. But when I'm not at work, I always have my phone, as we all do. I can't imagine there was a time when I didn't live without this thing glued to my hands. Although some of the best times that I have in my life, I'm not looking at the phone and I'm not paying attention to it. And I said, hey, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm also always on the phone. I like the first, thank God, next my parents are making me so great. Also, this great content creator, Mark, for being on. Of course, the chat that makes it all possible. I missed what the speech is. Oh, the number 1. The number 1 speech. Cass is at number 1 now? You typed out your speech too late. By the way, check out this sunset. Hold on. My camera's not doing it justice. I don't think my camera's doing it justice, but in person, it looks amazing. By the time you press the send button, Cass is number 1. That is cruel, YouTube. YouTube. Why are you so cruel? It looks so beautiful out there. I guess you'll have to type more or donate a super chat. I love sunsets. You're working? You're working on Sunday? I admire your dedication. This is me. We will be closed for Labor Day. I don't think I ever had a job that I worked on a Sunday. I had a job where I worked on Saturday. I had like a Monday through Saturday schedule. Monday, Tuesday. No, I had a Tuesday through Saturday schedule. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then I had another job where I did Monday through Friday, but then we alternated Saturdays. So it was like Monday through Friday this week, Tuesday through Saturday next week. It's kind of weird. But Saturdays I hated working on Saturdays because I just hated it. But Saturdays were the easiest days because there was no administration in the building. So I would just go in there, throw some movies on. Maybe we'd get a few clients. I didn't even know why it was worth it for them to be open on Saturday, because my full schedule was like 12 to 15 clients that I would see per day. And on Saturday, I was getting like 5, 6. Like it was, the numbers were really, the math wasn't mathing on Saturday. You know what Cass did? I'll never understand how the XP system is either. You know what Cass did? Cass pulled a Kanye West on Taylor Swift. Cass is like, Charicity, I'm going to let you finish. Ed worked 12 days in a row. I can barely work 2 days in a row. I deserve the most produce guy. I've been waiting to give a speech for so long, though. Like in life. I wish. I was thinking about that the other day. I'm like, you know what? I'm sitting here like, how many of us get honored for the things we do? You got to do something that is super exceptional, that's number one, better than everyone else. And your day-to-day things that you do for people never get recognized. And I think about that occasionally when I'm at things where people are receiving awards and they're being honored. I was even thinking about it at my grandma's 90th last year. And how we went through her whole life, and it was like a lifetime achievement award. But God, do I gotta wait till 90 to get something like that? Because what are the odds? What are the chances that I get blessed like she did, with wonderful health and just an amazing support system that she has, and really good genes? That's the only, I had one grandparent live to 90, one other one on my dad's side, and her. My grandfather, her husband, was 87 when he passed. Yeah, he was 87. My grandmother on my dad's side passed before I was born. I believe that she was in her 70s, I think. Yeah. Cass is Kanye West now, which is ironic because a troll is always calling you. Actually, it's not just trolls that call me Kanye West. People in life. Kanye West, Dwayne Wade, James Harden, Kimbo Slice. What the hell is this other guy's name? He's on this, I can't think of his name right now, and it's going to bother me. I have his face. But I cannot think of his name. But there's about 5 or 6 black guys that I'm always called in real life, not just on this internet. And Kanye's one of them. In fact, I have been confused for this celebrity that I'm thinking, I can't think of his name. But he's on this, a law show? Like a New York law something? I can't think of his name. I'm going to think of it as soon as I turn this off. You know what? Yeah, you go through a lot of heartbreak. but I've gone through a lot of it already. So I am at a weird place in my life that, yeah, I know that there could be a lot more to come, but I don't know. It's like you get to a point in life once you've experienced enough losses that you just realize you're not in control, and it's a whole different feeling once you get there. My grandpa is still kicking at 85, survived throat cancer, served in the Air Force, and just recently became a widower. Wow. I think Diddy is even in the rotation. Well, that one is just straight up troll. Nobody has said I look like Diddy unless they were trolling. He's a fighter for the people. All right. How many steps do we got? 19,000. Wow, I'm still 500 away. That's depressing. Let's see how much longer. Because my phone battery is at 6%. How much would 500 steps be? 5 minutes? Probably 5 minutes. Will my phone make 5 minutes? Find out next time on Big Brother. I miss my grandpa. My grandpa was the first person I ever had to experience having Alzheimer's. And it was the saddest thing because I still remember the last time I saw him. And I saw him and I spoke to him. And he looked at me and he had this blank stare on his face. I told him I love him, and he just had this blank stare. And I remember walking out of there feeling devastated, like he was gone already. But I didn't act like it. I acted like everything was fine. Then I remember when I finally had a moment to myself, I just burst into tears. I was just so distraught. And nobody prepared me for that either, because nobody even told me specifically that it was Alzheimer's until after he passed. Because that was the era of not telling the young people about the older generation's health issues, which is weird to me. I know that there's probably a thought of preserving a child's innocence. Number one, I wasn't really a child. I was a teenager by then. So, wasn't a child, that's number one. But number two, I think like at least knowing a little bit gives you an opportunity to prepare for what you're seeing and experiencing. Because I experienced some weird things that I was not aware were because of a diagnosis, like weird things with him. Like when he accused me of stealing his video camera that he gave me and had a whole conversation with me about how he's passing the torch and he wants to give me all his camera equipment. Then he told my grandma that I stole it from him. And she was like, no, I know you didn't steal it, but just please give it back. And I was like, that's not like my grandpa. My grandpa was so generous. He gave me things all the time. He gave everybody things. And he has never in his life asked me for something back, let alone say that conversation that I had with him never happened. But now, knowing what kind of animal that is and the experiences I had with my dad, now it makes perfect sense. My nana has dementia. She hoarded newspapers because she thought her husband, not my grandpa, would come home. That's got to be so hard, especially not understanding what's going on. Yeah, I'm going live tonight. Okay, I have 180 180 steps to go. So this is my last loop around, and I don't know what percentage my phone is, probably like 4 or 3, something like that. But I think it's enough to get me to my 20K. Everybody keeps asking the same question. I feel like Chocolate was the first one who asked that question, and then she disappeared before I answered. Matter of fact, it was her. Rewind the tapes. Mindful Reality, Locked In. Rewind the game tapes, and you'll find that Chocolate was indeed the original person that asked that question, and then she left her shift unannounced to go do something else, and I answered that question like 10 times. Then she came back around and outed herself by repeating her original question that she asked. How about that? And y'all be thinking that I'm just picking on her for no reason. You know what? It's August 31, and there's an announcement about the Employee of the Month that I'm going to do after the episode. And Chocolate, you might have just sealed your fate. I'm not going to lie. It depends. Cash still has she still has time to lose her spot. But as of right now, you messed up at the wrong time. Yes, Ma, and you were the second one who asked, because she asked this way early at the beginning of this live. You did get that answer. Worst boss ever. Oh, you are asking for it. I tried protein shakes, but I need them to be plant-based, and only one brand tastes good, but they don't deliver anymore. So I might try protein powder, put it in my oat milk. You're in trouble. Okay, so now, hold on. Let me try to 20,088 steps. I just doubled my step goal for the day. This is what I just learned from my 23-year-old coworker. That's gas. My generation was saying that's hot, or that's hot evolved into that's fire. That's fire became that's lit, and that's lit became gas. That's gas. Okay, y'all. I'm jumping off. Thanks for joining me. Like, comment, subscribe. Jump back on afterwards to learn who is the Employee of the Month for August. That announcement is coming soon. Alright. To the boardwalk. Talk to y'all later.